What's up, everybody? This is Trap Daddy Gambino, and you are watching the Marcus Deegan Show.
The Marcus Deegan Show. What is the story, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan, shooting from the world-famous Sticky Paws Studios here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the place of bright lights, world title fights, and ecstasy delights. Right here on the podcast, we're having some interesting conversations with some polarizing figures of the Las Vegas community and people from around the world. Thanks for joining us once again. Don't forget, make sure you like, subscribe, and let all your friends know about this podcast on YouTube. It's going really well on Spotify. We want you to watch it on YouTube. Sit down on the big screen, I don't know, have a beer, pop some magic mushrooms maybe, and watch the podcast. It's all in fun. We're going to circle back to that topic a little bit later on. On the podcast today, we have got a gentleman, hey, and I feel kind of privileged because first he was on the Dr. Phil show, and now he's here on my show, the Marcus Deegan Show. Now, I've got a little bit more hair than Dr. Phil, and I'm not going to go and try and capitalize on someone's pain. We're just going to have a decent conversation. Would you welcome to the podcast, Trap Daddy Gambino? What's up, brother?
How you doing, man? It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. You actually fit in perfectly with the set.
Yeah, I feel like I blend right into this, right?
So I think that you do. I mean, you could easily just like blend into the wall or into the chair there. Well, no, we'll see a little bit later on. Now, you know what? I was doing a little bit of research earlier on you, and I like to do my decent research. Yours had me. Yours kind of had me in tears a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but I want to tell you this is what I found out about you on your mini bio. It says Trap Gambino, a polarizing personality with assets in combat sports and entertainment history. Gambino has been featured in numerous films, music videos, and TV shows, as well as making appearances on the Dr. Phil show and Divorce Court. We're going to talk about that one. After his MMA debut in 2021, Trap Gambino plans on pursuing a career in combat sports, and his main focus is going to be in 2022. Since 2022, has those things started happening?
Yeah, a lot has happened since 2022, and a lot has changed. I was just talking to your buddy before the podcast started about how I'm trying to go from being an influencer more to an entrepreneur, and being on this influencer side for not even that long has made me see how wrong things are going on the influencer side of things. So I can't really, if I want to change the world, I can't support the way it's going right now. So I went from almost overnight, I went from wanting to be an influencer, wanting to be, a famous guy who's just fighting, making money off, music videos and clout chasing and getting this guy's tag and that guy's tag and celebrity fucking, I guess, star fucking. And that was me, man. I felt like I had the demon in me. But once I saw everything, now I'm totally... it flipped, and now I want to do things differently.
People don't realize how captivating that world is and how addictive and how that world can consume you to where you even lose who you are in yourself. What was it about this whole, what you just mentioned, that made you start to change and think differently about it?
It was one weekend. I met up with some, quote unquote celebrities here in Vegas.
There's a lot of them here in Vegas.
Yeah,
isn't
exactly. Like influencers. And we went around and we did some podcasts and we did some content with everybody. And I'm seeing the uneven transfer of money. Like, these guys are millionaires and they're making money off of basically nothing. And like, they're not contributing anything. And I'm in these mansions of these guys who, like, they got famous and rich by making like gay jokes and stuff like that. They're not really contributing to society, and that's when it hit me. Like, I'm not contributing to society if this is what I want to be. So I want to take the money that I'm making now and build a brand. That's why I'm doing the Trap Daddy brand now. Instead of building it as myself, it's more of I'm putting it all into a brand now. So that's the thing.
I like it. It looks like some bubble gum has
I
exploded
know,
on my
right?
chest, right?
I like the bubble letters.
No, I like it. I like it.
I'm
It's very
experimenting with it.
very 80s, very hip hop. I love that. So let's just talk about that weekend. What was it being in that environment and seeing all that money and fucking how much they have of it and how easily it comes, and then you see there's other people that are just struggling to pay their bills. There's such a huge contrast in one way of living to the other. I suppose once you saw that way of life, did it make you think that maybe it was a bit forced, false, and pretentious?
Yes, and I grew up broke my entire life, and I got to stop talking about that because somebody told me I got to stop saying that because that's a mentality you got to get away from.
Yeah.
But it is true. I did grow up broke my entire life, and I thought that money is what I wanted to make my family stable, and I'll do anything to get it. And now I technically have it, and if I invest right, I don't have to like work a normal job anymore. So, now that I have the money, it's like I see everything differently. And now that I'm there, I thought I was where I want to be. But this sounds crazy, but I was at Sam's Cabaret the other day. I had two beautiful strippers, one on each side of me, right? And I'm looking around the corner, and I'm not having fun. I'm seeing like single dads and divorced dads and stuff like that. And I'm looking around like, why am I spending thousands of dollars here at a strip club, like trying to have fun when I don't deserve it? Like I should be, instead of celebrating here right now, I should be celebrating on a yacht with billionaires, celebrating the fact that we just took over a country. Fuck Sam's Cabaret with two strippers.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with this.
Do you think that's maybe a sense of where you put yourself in life?
I don't know. I feel like the bigger I go, the more I feel like I want more.
Yeah.
And the people who are there, I don't know if they deserve it. And I don't know if I deserve it, but I feel like if I'm in their position, maybe I can do a better job for sure.
Circling back to people that actually don't know your story. So I think you kind of really started to get notoriety after the Dr. Phil show, would you say? Is that when it really kind of blew up to where everybody knew who you were?
I was popular in the MMA community before the Dr. Phil show, and that's kind of how I got.
You kind of
on the Dr. Phil
sponsored
show.
female athletes in your beginning of your career, and kind of that's how it began, right?
That's I kind of mingled my way into the sport a little bit by being a sponsor, and I found it easy to sponsor top level athletes, and surprisingly easy to sponsor top level athletes.
Well, they all want that money, baby. That's why.
Yeah, and I didn't have anything to sell or anything like that, but I just wanted my face to get in there, and it worked.
Yeah. I kind of have a similar story to the way I got involved with the MMA industry. Is I used to do my Conor McGregor lookalike impersonator stuff, and it kind of opened a few doors to me to get me into that kind of the same family as what you're trying to get into now. How has your MMA career developed since Dr. Phil and continuing now that you are here in Vegas?
Well, I did fight once in MMA. I competed in jiu-jitsu a couple times. I competed out here in Vegas. I competed in Arizona, Florida, all over. And, essentially, I feel like it's more just to lose weight now. Like, I wanted to be like a big, bad fighter and all that stuff. But now it's just all that I don't care about as much as losing weight and getting healthy and becoming dangerous. And I have a lot of work to do. Now that I have everything I quote unquote wanted, I feel like I don't deserve it. I have to become dangerous. I have to lose all this weight.
Yeah.
I have to become smarter. I have to develop myself as a better person, as a better man. And I have to become from a boy to a king. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing.
So what is it that makes you want to change your persona from this big badass heavy dude? Now you want to trim down and be a bit more healthy. Is it all going with what you've been saying in the last couple of minutes?
Because that persona was a wannabe.
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
Like I wanted to be that. And at least I thought I did.
You thought you did, right?
And now that I'm, I got the money and I got the girls on me and I could do the limos and I work for the LFC and all that cool shit now, I don't want that. I want something better.
So where did this injection of income come from that's given you the opportunity to be a little bit, not to have to worry about that side of life?
So last year I had some tragedies happen to me and my family. And because of that, for better or for worse, our stories went viral. And we got contacted by some celebrities out here in Vegas, some fighters that know my wife and me personally and know our stories. And they, they didn't give us a ton of money, but they gave us enough they donated enough to where we can relax and work on what I need to do. I can work without having to worry about my wife, because my wife is in a position right now where I can't really do anything without helping her first.
Right.
So,
can you elaborate a little bit on what's
Sure.
happening with your wife?
So my wife has a very rare terminal illness called pulmonary hypertension, which is essentially heart failure. And she was a professional fighter. And she went from fighting in a cage professionally to now she's in a wheelchair, and she has a tube going into her chest, injecting medication continuously into her chest, basically life-sustaining medication. And if that got ripped out of her heart or anything like that, she could die on spot, and she could die any minute as it is. So it's a deteriorating illness. It's an uncurable illness, and there's really nothing you can do about it other than kind of take the medication to sustain as long as you can.
It's when I kind of messaged you earlier on and said, "Oh, definitely got something to talk about." That's what my father passed away from.
Really?
2 years ago. He found out literally the day before he died that he had it.
Wow. Yeah.
So when you said pulmonary hypertension,
Yeah.
I automatically connected with you because that's how I just lost my dad.
It's a horrible disease, and it comes out of nowhere from nothing, and there's no explanation for it. And unfortunately, I've heard the same story like with my daughter. My daughter passed away last year, and it was like the same story. Like it's a disease that comes out of nowhere. She passed away from acute leukemia. And apparently that's another one that, no reason behind it and stuff like that. So, the world's unfair, man.
So you're dealing with probably the two most painful things that could ever happen to a human being. First of all, I'm real sorry about what happened to your daughter, and I don't even imagine how you get up and move forward every day. So you are obviously a strong motherfucker, and your brain power must be exceptional to not have unlived yourself or not have gone down into a pathway of drugs and alcohol. How do you deal with what has happened to you?
Well, I didn't really have time. I don't have time still, because I have 2 kids, and I have a wife who's literally dying. So I have to be strong for these guys. And when everything first happened, I did, my wife was pregnant at the time that she got diagnosed, and she was diagnosed a week after my daughter's funeral.
Oh, my Lord.
And so my wife at the time was also 20 weeks pregnant. And when you get diagnosed with something like that, there's no chance of having a pregnancy. So essentially, she had to terminate that pregnancy, and we lost 2 daughters and found out that she was dying within like a month of all together. And it was devastating. And it was also 2 weeks before my boxing debut, and I was down to like 320 pounds. I felt really good. I was ready to go. Started drinking heavily and stuff again. So got up to 370, and now I'm like 370, and I need to stop the drinking, stop the eating, and fast daily. And, trauma is no excuse to just go harder on yourself. So I'm trying to use the trauma in a different way and go the opposite.
How's your wife doing?
She's
mentally.
Mentally, even though she's my wife and I'm the closest thing to her and I'm the only one who sees her every day, I couldn't even fucking imagine how she's doing. I can't like looking down and seeing something hanging out of my chest, you know what I mean, every day and feeling that up of something piercing your heart. And despite everything that she's gone through, I can't even imagine how she's feeling. But she's holding it together mentally, and she's out, she's doing podcasts, she's doing shows, she's working with the Liver King, and she's spreading her story, and she's putting on a superhero cape and mask just like I am.
The female species is far more superior to us. They have a different
Right?
breed of toughness about them. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the childbearing is one, but for her to, and you as well, but I'm just in particularly talking about her now. That's just a different breed. Like a lot of people don't survive trauma like that, Trap. Like even for yourself, it's not normal for the human spirit to have to go through something like that. Do you have God in your life?
No, I used to, I was one of those guys who I didn't believe in God, but I definitely believed in like a fairy tale life. I had like the perfect quote unquote fairy tale life, and then out of nowhere, all that happened, and now it's kind of hard to think that everything happens for a reason when a 3-year-old passes away out of nowhere for no reason, and it's hard to think that there's something that would make that okay. So I feel like I'm in the moment where when something that devastating happens to you, you're never gonna feel okay, but you just gotta keep going. Yeah.
Was there a lot of anger involved at God, do you think?
No, no, it was all at me.
You were angry at yourself.
Yeah.
You thought you were the cause of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Explain that.
I don't
'Cause you
know how to
weren't.
explain it. Yeah. Well, you're always gonna think like, oh, what if I took her to the hospital sooner? What if I caught it? What if I, even though I was told a million times that this is a disease that once it starts showing symptoms, it's already too late. It's a fast acting disease. It starts in your bone marrow, works its way from the inside out, and it's devastating. Happens fast. Sometimes it can happen in days, weeks, months. It happened to her within 3 days. She was up walking fine, eating, and then within the next couple of days, her heart stopped. It was that fast. And but I'm always gonna blame myself as a parent. I feel like you're always gonna blame yourself. Like what could I have caught it sooner? Or it's never.
So you had no time to prepare for this
No,
at
no,
all.
no, not at all.
Now, in a sense, is that, I don't want to say better because nothing is better, but easier to accept when it happens like that, because that's the same thing that happened with my dad. It was like,
Yeah.
we didn't know, and then just one minute he was there, and the next minute he wasn't, and no time to prepare. So it kind of makes it.
One thing that makes it easier is I don't want to get too morbid about it, but I'm glad that she didn't suffer longer.
Right.
I'm because people with cancer they suffer for years. She suffered for days,
Yeah.
and that makes me a little happier.
Have you had any experiences with her spirit since she's been passed away?
I've been looking, but no.
Has your wife?
I think that I don't know if she's like spiritual or not. She's told me she's felt a couple things or seen a couple things, but we don't know if that's like a way of coping, hoping, coping. I've downloaded the Ghost Tube app on my phone a couple times and deleted it. Like felt like an idiot.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you're desperate and you look up the craziest shit. How to build a time machine. How to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as a dad, as a parent, you're like, it's wild. It's a weird feeling.
Well, man, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and I believe that in my own heart of hearts that you will be reconnected with your daughter's spirit again. I absolutely believe that with all my heart, and I truly think that it's really hard to even put into words what to say to you, because my heart is broken. But seeing you sitting here and doing this podcast and being so positive and happy is also a message for people, whether you intend it to be or not. And the message is that even in the depths of despair when you think that nothing is going right in your life and your family is dying in front of you and you're losing your kids, you can still smile. You can still show some positivity. You can still come and sit in this podcast room and talk to someone that you don't know about something so personal in the hopes that maybe someone else, even one person, will see it and go, fuck. It's right. It's true. Pain isn't forever. As you said, it'll always be with you.
Yeah.
But you just learn to live with it.
Yeah. And sometimes you just got to put on a mask, man. Like, you got to be a superhero, especially if you got people who depend on you. And I got some people who depend on me. So,
yeah,
I'm superheroing it up.
Okay. Well, yes, you are, brother. Fucking oath. So mad respect. Now, I knew that topic was going to come up and I'm glad it did. So, but let's talk about where you are, where you want to go next. Like, are you going to stick with MMA? You're obviously on this weight loss journey, which is great. Are you going to do it through medication, or are you going to do it because they got this Ozempic drug out now, right?
I've been hearing about this a lot.
Yeah, man, it's stripping the weight off people rather quickly.
That kind of scares me, to be honest,
because you could transform yourself real quick.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm a believer in like steroids and stuff like that.
Yeah, so am I.
I wanna try that eventually, but I feel like
But how old are you?
Naturally first. I'm 33.
See, you're still so young, bro.
Yeah, I feel 23 because I preserved my body a lot, like just being a lazy kid my whole life, just sitting on the computer, not doing anything, not having any injuries, not playing any sports, and now I'm 33, so I feel like I kind of preserved my body a little bit.
Was the MMA world a little bit different than what you expected when you finally got in the ring? Because I know we talk about it and we train, but then we actually get in there to fight someone, it's a whole different kettle of fish, right?
I don't know what it was. It's different to me for sure. It's more like a game to me than it is to everybody else. I think everybody else takes it a little bit more seriously, and maybe I should, but maybe I wouldn't have lost my first fight if I didn't.
Yeah, it was a TKO in the second round, right?
Technically, yeah. So I knocked the guy down, and then when I went to follow him down, which I told myself I wouldn't follow him down because I'm a boxer, I'm not an MMA fighter.
Right.
I blew my knee out when I landed on top of him. And even though he was dazed, he came out for the second round. I couldn't come out for the second round.
Your knee was
All respect
done.
to him, he won the fight.
Yeah. No, it's a different breed, these fighters, right?
Yeah.
When you do it yourself, looking at it on TV, you look at them in a completely different way. You know what I mean? You know as well as I do, these mixed martial artists are a fucking different breed of human being.
Have you ever seen Here Comes the Boom?
No.
Oh, with Kevin James as he's like an MMA fighter.
Oh yeah.
So
I think I've seen clips of that one.
There's parts where he like did like first person and he's in the cage. I swear that's how it felt for me. Like the first time, like I feel like that movie describes it perfectly when in first person mode for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely a huge MMA fan, Kevin James. I see him. I
hear
UFC.
He's a beast.
No,
I hear he can actually fight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I see him at the UFC. Do you get to the UFC? Do you get to watch it?
No, but Dana did just bless my family with tickets to UFC 299 in Miami, and this will be me and my wife's first ever UFC event. And one of our first dates was UFC 100.
Is that right?
Yeah, how crazy is that? So it's like it's coming full circle.
So how did Uncle Dana bless you with that?
So I think he heard about us through the Liver King.
Right.
So the Liver King went over there, and he's a UFC fan. He knows Dana and stuff, and he talked to Dana about us. And I found out about this during a podcast that my wife was doing with the Liver King. He just randomly mentioned that. So I was like, cool, man. I guess we're going to Miami.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge weekend here in Las Vegas last weekend. Obviously, the Super Bowl, the UFC, and then the Power Slap. I was very fortunate to get to go hang out with Dana White on Sunday night up at the Red Rock Casino in the High Limits.
How much money did you see moving around that room? That's all I want to know.
You want to know? You want to know exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, so
ridiculous.
he was down 1.5 million. What? And I know. Hey, I was having a fucking anxiety attack behind.
People are watching and getting hurt right now.
$50,000 hands he was playing, right? And I was just sitting behind him going, just 2 of those chips could change my life. But
Oh my God,
so
that's
he
right.
lost it all, and then he went to Baccarat, and then he won it all back, paid off
my
his
God.
markup
He's a demon.
plus another. I think it was like, I don't know if it was 175K or 75K, but it was one of those. So he won it all back plus a whole bunch of cash on top of that.
Man, he's a demon when it comes to gambling. He's really, really good, isn't he? Like I hear that he clears out casinos.
I don't know how.
Even
I don't
his
know.
friends' casinos.
Like I've watched people gamble money before, but not money like that, and
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Do you know who Bryce Hall is?
Yeah,
He's
of
like
course. He was
yeah.
there as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Bryce was there.
I was watching him gamble, and he was doing the same thing, like $50,000 chips, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, they were doubling down, and then Dana,
Yeah.
if someone else doubled down, Dana would throw his chips on there. And
That's just not my type of lifestyle. I don't know. I just can't do it.
I mean, I suppose that when you have that kind of fuck you money,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can do extravagant
Yeah.
things like that. Me, I was just a fucking sweating and it wasn't even my money, right? And I was just behind, just going, "Holy crap, this is
You
unbelievable."
know, that's exactly how I felt when I was doing background work for so you know the show Catch 21 with Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
It's like game shows. So I was in the crowd and people are winning like $20,000, $50,000, and my job is to like clap like, "Yay, you're $20,000," and I'm fucking late on rent. You know, like, I gotta be excited for you,
Right.
And they're about to just redo their kitchen or something stupid.
Yeah.
And that money could change my life. Could have, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but hey, you know what? He's worked for it. He's worked hard for it.
Yeah.
And I've seen him giving, waitresses $1,000 chips. So he was like sharing the bread with people. But no, it was great to meet him and just sit around and watch that because it's just such an unfathomable life to me.
It really is. It's unreachable until you get there, right? And
Right.
You're like, man, it's like I can almost touch it.
Yeah,
Right
isn't that
there.
a bizarre fucking
It
feeling?
really is.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you feel good?
Yeah, comfy. This chair is super comfy for some reason.
Yeah, I know. There's been a lot of asses in that chair before you there. So what's your actual name?
My real name is Travis Long, and Trap is literally just short for Travis.
Right.
Everybody thinks they have something to do with like drug dealing or like trapping in the hood or Young Jeezy, but it's literally just short for Travis.
And have you always been called that?
Yeah, since I was a baby.
And what about Gambino?
Gambino, so I am Italian, and back in the day, like in 2005, everybody was like something Yo Gotti or something Yo Gambino and shit like that, all these rappers, and they were all black guys. And that offended me. I was like, they're fucking trying to I was a
Capitalize off Italian
yeah,
names.
I'm a little like racist Italian kid, at the time. I'm from Ohio and shit. I haven't seen a lot. And I'm like, man, so I'm going to call myself Trap Gambino.
Yeah.
And that just kind of stuck.
Yeah, no, well, it's a great name. It fits well, and a lot of people know who you are. They said you did a couple of movies. What movies have you done? Background work, or have you actually had it?
I did a lot of background work, and I did a movie with Eddie Griffin. I was his security guard with
Nice.
Eddie Griffin. And,
Yeah.
I did some Hulu stuff. I did a show for Huluween where I was like scaring influencers over at the Clown Motel.
Nice.
And I was on a Netflix show. What was it called? Depraved or Departed or something like that.
Yeah.
Just background work. But yeah, mostly.
Is that something you want to do in more of acting work?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
No. Yeah.
Listen, bro, I'm glad you said that. I did a 6-week acting course once and hated it.
Yeah.
Hated every second. Okay, now I want you to be a tree in the forest blowing in the wind. I'm like, what? Yes, I want you to be. I can't fucking do that, mate. I feel like an idiot doing that. I couldn't do it. It was very
Did you do
cringe.
the miser technique?
Okay,
Where it's like I say something to you, then you say it in a different way, then I say it in a different way, and then it just keeps going back and forth then it ends up where we're just fucking yelling at each other.
yeah, it's really weird
It's like,
shit.
shut the door, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door.
Yeah.
And we just keep going fucking crazy and crazier. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a
Tough,
technique,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's a hard gig, man.
It's real work. And like some of these background gigs, they'll all like cattle you into like a little place, and it feels like you're at the DMV, and it's like 9 to 16-hour work days
For
It's
$100
crazy.
bucks.
Yeah, for $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might get like a glimpse of you on Netflix.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bob Menery was telling me how difficult it is. He just did a movie with Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal called Roadhouse, which comes out March 16th on Prime, I believe. And he was telling me that, it's a difficult gig, especially when you're doing a scene with Jake Gyllenhaal and he's got to walk 150 feet up to you. And then if you fuck the line up, he's got to turn around and walk all the way back and then start it again. You fuck it up 2 or 3 times, you know what I mean? And Bob Menery's like, during that time, I figured I probably should have learnt my lines, you know?
And out here in Vegas, they don't have the union out here like they do in LA, so they can get away with a lot of crazy
more
shit.
Yeah.
So like the other week, I showed up to a gig, and they didn't have any extra stunt guy. They just had like pads on the ground, and I had to do like my big ass had to do like a flip. Like this little guy was like clotheslining me. I had to like flip over his arm.
Wow.
Like thankfully I have some combat sports
background techniques.
Yeah, so I know a little bit what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have really hurt myself. And then they had a real gun aimed at my face for like a whole scene. And like it was empty and stuff, but they made sure it was empty.
Alec Baldwin wasn't hanging around, was he?
I know, right? Like a real gun.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy out here in Vegas. It's the wild, wild west for sure.
Yeah. How long have you been living out here now?
About 6 years.
Yeah. And what year did you do the Dr. Phil?
2020. Yeah, like right during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah. And any kind of stories about him? Did you just meet him on the set, or did you get to say
I met him
g'day
on the
and
set.
get a photo?
Yeah, I met him on the set. So during the whole thing, they do a lot of interrogating leading up to the show. Like they have
Background shit.
I don't know how many producers, but at least like 20 different producers that'll call you constantly every day, so you forget what the last producers asked you. They're literally like manipulating you. And one of the things that they asked me was, what's the word that triggers you the most? And I told them I hate when people call me delusional because I don't understand that. And they kept that, and then they just kept going on. And then I get to the Dr. Phil show. Everything's going, the first segment, we're getting along well. Then they come up and whisper something in his ear. They cut from commercial break. He looks at me and goes, "Trap, you're delusional." Like just to trigger me, just to get me going and shit like that. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Now we're on TV. So yeah, it was an experience, man. It was definitely a TV show though.
It was?
Yeah, it was a TV show. They tell you to like be combative with him, don't agree with everything and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard because you don't know what role to play, and you're afraid that he's gonna kick you off if you do anything disrespectful. So they draw a line between like you don't know what role to play because like it's a TV show and you want to be entertaining, but they also tell you to like not offend them. So it's like, what am I supposed to do then? You know?
Did you get positive feedback and did that go well for you after doing the Dr. Phil show? Did you regret doing it?
I don't regret doing it just because I still get recognized to this day, and it's kind of cool just to get my face out there and be recognized for being on TV and doing something. But unfortunately, a lot of people do think like everything about that show was real, and I didn't present myself the best.
You don't think you did?
No, I didn't have the energy, to be honest. I was nervous, and I took some edibles, some California edibles right before the show.
Right.
Or no, they were actually from Vegas. It was Jardine edibles.
How do you pronounce it?
Hardine.
Hardine.
This whole time?
Yeah, this whole time everyone's been saying Jardine, but it's Hardine.
My God, dude.
So Hardine, you are responsible for Mr. Trap Gambino going on the Dr. Phil
all
show.
your fault.
And being a little lethargic,
You made
shall
me
we
delusional.
say. Yeah, we want to say that if you want to get all of your THC and marijuana products, the number one place here in Las Vegas, not Jardine, not Lardine, Hardine for all your marijuana products. Yeah, I love it down there. I went down
7
there.
years I've been pronouncing it wrong. It's insane.
What does it even mean? Do we know what it means?
I no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had the
You get
CEO.
high as hell.
Yeah. No, they have just great flour.
Oh my god.
This is really a plug for them.
Yeah, no, it is really a plug. There's a method to my madness.
Use code Trap Daddy to get. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah. Use the code Trap Daddy and we get 25% off your purchase. This is not a paid plug either. We're just doing it because Jardine is one of the, I'd say, pinnacle and at the top of their game when it comes to the marijuana business. They've got a badass shop, right? They've got a great great podcast
They
studio.
sponsor high rollers.
They sponsor High Rollers. Yeah.
I competed for high rollers, celebrity high rollers. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that, but
Man, I got choked out by a little YouTuber. It was like 190 pounds. But hey, I was high.
Hey, so is he.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot of work in these little like Vegas organization things that are
I
around?
tried to, yeah. And before I didn't have I guess the confidence to do it, and now I'm starting to because I actually have something to promote,
Right.
And I actually have something behind me, and I actually have goals now.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to do everything I can.
Yeah. So what are your goals?
So my goal right now, my biggest goal is to I'm doing a soft launch on the Trap Daddy brand. It's going to be starting out as a t-shirt, and I want to build up that brand eventually to sell it and use the money that I took from the brand and start a foundation for my wife's terminal illness, because she's her illness is so rare. And she's a popular woman, and she's to the point where she's got more fans than this terminal illness affects. And I feel like that puts us in a super special position where we can raise awareness. And so now it's up to me to do all the work to raise the money to start a foundation, because it costs a lot of money. And I feel like this foundation is going to help raise awareness, is going to help a lot of people, and that didn't have the celebrity friends like I did to reach out to for help. Like we would be, my wife would probably be dead right now if I didn't have the people to help us that we have right now. So that's what I want to be for them.
If I can be involved in any way and help you out in any way, I'd love it. Where can people find out where to get these shirts?
So I'm just putting them out there to see how cool they are right now. I'm giving away a bunch of influencers. So if you're an influencer, you got a big following, you want a cool Trap Daddy t-shirt, make sure you hit me up. Like I said, this is a soft launch, so I ain't got nothing set up yet. All just promotion.
Yeah, it's about getting the name out there and getting the word out there. And that's why as soon as I saw them this morning, I was like, bring me one of those T-shirts.
It looks so cool, man. I like it.
I like it. Goes with my haircut and goes with the way that I'm feeling right now. I was thinking, we were talking a little bit earlier on, and as you get older, the less shit that you want to put into your body, the less chemicals, the less drugs, the less alcohol. I was absolutely, no one took more drugs than me. No one drank more alcohol than me. I was an absolute maniac, out of control in every sense of the way. And it didn't, until I started getting a bit older, I started realizing, fucking, this is just no good for your body. So I want to try and go on the holistic way of things, maybe the holistic way of fighting depression, the holistic way of fighting anxiety. I want to give a bit of a shout out to Muse. Muse is a company that infuses psilocybin, magic mushrooms, into different products, aka chocolate, also chews and capsules. And I just wanted to say that thanks for sending me the package. We had a little bit of a taste test before the podcast today, just to see exactly what microdosing does. Now, I will say I am definitely not tripping on mushrooms right now, but I've really got to say I feel really good.
Yeah, I feel good and relaxed. I've had a little bit of it, a lot of it of it. Yeah, I feel a little relaxed. Suddenly, these colors look so beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's one of the enhancements of microdosing. It does make colors a little bit more beautiful. It does make you feel a little bit more relaxed. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday. I think I may have I don't want to say the word overdose because I just how would you say it?
Overstimulated, maybe?
I over microdosed.
I guess you macrodose.
I macrodosed when I should have microdosed. Today we microdosed. And so how do you generally feel?
I feel good, man. But I'm learning that fasting has been really magic for me lately. It's crazy when you start fasting and you really see how much it helps. You get to see you look around, you see people's guts and shit, and you start to judge them. Like, man, if he just fasted for like 3 days, his gut wouldn't be sticking out like that. Like, fasting is really helping me, and I feel like mushrooms and microdosing is something I really want to look into because, like I said, I haven't done therapy yet, and I heard this was a way to do therapy, and I feel great right now. So yeah.
So I think maybe the reason that I asked you if you wanted to microdose with me today is because I knew the conversation was going to go into a place of heartbreak. Normally, I don't know. Normally I'd be crying right now, but I do feel sadness, but I think it's controlled, and I don't maybe slightly euphoric. To
Yeah.
a sense where my
You're not
emotions are a bit more
alone.
my
You're not
emotions are a
alone.
bit more controlled. And when did you really start feeling it? Because I've only really maybe the last 10 minutes.
Honestly, when I sat down in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
It
started
wasn't just
feeling
the
it.
amazing studio here at Sticky Paws.
No, it is pretty euphoric, but I think I felt it when I started. When I sat down, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be I'm gonna try to get through this one, but it wasn't hard. So
Yeah, and the shirt kind of just blends into if you can see his shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see
I
what's
felt
on.
a hint of the mushrooms. I was like, oh, I hope I'm not in trouble. But no, it's a good feeling. It's a relaxing feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a relaxing feeling. So thank you, Muse. I am definitely going to experiment a little further with my own mental health by trying different things. And by no means am I advocating for this. This is purely done for educational purposes. And yeah, I'm doing this for me. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm doing it for me. And it works for me. And it seems like it's had a little bit of a great effect on you. So, hey, it's something to look into, okay? Travis, are you on mushrooms today?
Oh no, I'm not that kind. I'm like end of the day kind of thing. End of my day with a nice blank mind.
That's
and
how it
reset.
starts.
I've been doing it for like 6 to 7
That's
years.
how
I haven't
addicts
deviated
start.
from that.
Really?
That's how I
Until-
started smoking weed. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna smoke at the end of the day when I ain't got shit to do, and now I smoke every day, all day.
Yeah, I do admit I did try to get Travis to take a couple of Muse chews earlier, but he declined.
To kind of give you an idea, is last time I tried to microdose, I accidentally macrodosed, and I was halfway through making my homemade Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme, everything from scratch.
Ooh, the
And
sour cream and everything?
everything, beef, nacho cheese, sour cream. I sat down and I'm like, oh fuck, and then I couldn't eat it because I wasn't hungry.
No,
like you
that's
get that
right.
pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of work to do today, so I didn't want to accidentally macro.
Well, maybe I'll just leave a couple of chews on your desk.
All right, maybe we'll see how
And,
tonight goes.
and
Yeah.
we'll see how you go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely cannabis has helped me as far as with my mood swings.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a pen guy. I don't really like the flower as much, but I'm a pen guy. When I smoke blunts, I cough up like this
See-
black tar shit.
The thing is with the pen, it's so convenient that you're hitting it 20 times more. You'd be
That's
walking
true.
through fucking Smith's looking just to go in there and get vegetables. Hit that pen a couple of times. By the time you get round to aisle 6, you got fucking 17 different ice creams in there.
It's the evolution. They're trying to prepare us for robot dicks. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Well, listen, I saw a couple of robot dicks at the AVN a couple of weeks ago.
You was at the AVN. I wanted to go there.
Yeah, I went
wanted
there
to
and
go. I've
covered it
never been.
and spoke to some lovely young ladies about some lovely things that they do on camera, and they had some robot dicks, like an actual, back in my day, it was just a blow up doll that you would blow up, but now it's some AI like mechanical freaky
Yeah,
shit.
They're it's crazy how intricate those machines can get.
Now I see you splice into the stripping world a little bit. How does
Yeah.
that coincide with who you are?
I have done a couple weird movies and shit before. Before I
Okay,
came
can
out.
we clarify weird movies?
So I did. I produced like a movie where this girl was like killing somebody, but it's supposed to look real, and it's like a fetish film, and there's like blood everywhere and stuff like that, and these guys will pay a lot of money for it. Before I came out here, this story goes way deeper than we got time for, but before I came out here, I used to make money off of basically scamming like rich people in high places, like police officers, lawyers, people in government, making them think that I was a girl murdering people on camera, and it was crazy. These people paid thousands and thousands of dollars for these videotapes, and I'd make them look really realistic. And these people are fucking psychos, and I'm glad that they found me instead of somebody actually killing somebody. And it was a wild life, man. And Yeah, I've talked about it a couple times, but
That is the most unbelievable thing I've ever fucking heard.
it gets.
There was kind of a movie out with Nicolas Cage. Remember that movie?
Oh, what is it? 88 something? 8 millimeters.
8mm.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Remember that movie? That's
I
the kind of same
do.
thing, right?
Yeah. Now that you.
They were
yeah.
making fake S. Can you
I
say?
forgot about that movie.
Can you say snuff?
You just did.
Yeah. Well, may have to
well,
bleep
this
that
isn't
out.
live, right?
No, this isn't live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cut all that. No. I'm just
Yeah, no, we never cut anything out of my show. I'll get a lawsuit before I cut anything out, and that's the truth too.
Trap ends up dead.
No, I've got lawsuits from shit that I've what they call cease and desists. I've had a couple of those sent. Yeah,
Oh, man.
but yeah, wow. So perverted politicians and cops would
Yeah.
pay money to jerk off to
Oh my
fake
God,
snuff movies.
A lot of money. I've milked a lot of people in high places for thousands and thousands of dollars. And yeah, they probably want to kill me for it. So, but they can't because I know who they are. I know, where they live and stuff like that. I had a sequence of extortion. First I was manipulation, then scamming, and then eventually extortion.
That's
And,
what you did,
Yeah.
and you
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
and you're open about that too.
Yeah.
obviously you don't do
'Cause
that.
These are bad. No, I don't do that anymore. But I'm not shameful about it because even though it was like some stupid dirty mob shit, I was doing it to people who are legit bad people. Like these people, one guy I was talking to thought I was a girl who was gonna come and like put him in like a triangle hold and like do all kinds of sexual stuff in the gym of the high school that not the high school, the preschool, I'm sorry, that he owns. Like where the kids, like he got off of wanting to do sexual shit where the kids were. So I took that guy for every fucking thing that he had.
Yeah,
And
I would
made
have
sure
too.
that that he could never do anything about it because I got all his information and
What a
I could
perv.
destroy that guy's life, yeah. And I hope his life is destroyed, honestly. I took a lot of money. I took enough money from him that his life might be destroyed.
Wow.
But he's a loser, man. And all these guys were like this. So I don't feel bad for it at all.
Why is it always the people that are in the top of the apex triangle that are into all this fucking sick, perverted shit?
Isn't it weird? It's like they've done so much that they get bored or something, and they just have to find something, crazy to get hard. Like, I don't know. These guys are fucking weird. A lot of these guys are legit evil. And it was weird. A lot of them were cops and lawyers and stuff like that. And it was an eye-opening, thing I was
Wow.
doing.
I mean, I can understand getting fucked up on a 3-day bender and, getting all horny and maybe watching some
Yeah.
transvestite porn or fucking a warm bucket of mud or maybe a watermelon. But I don't know about fucking watching people kill each other. That's not my cup of tea.
It was crazy. It went from that to like people were messaging me because it's all about so I was doing it on the dark web. And like once you get a reputation on the dark web as somebody who can somebody to go to get good content, I had a good reputation. So these men would approach me thinking that I'm a girl. I would use AI and all kinds of crazy shit and thinking that I'm this made up girl. And one guy literally asked me if he could like cut off his hand and have me eat it. Like he was gonna fly me out to like Saudi Arabia or some crazy shit and surgically remove his hand and then watch me eat it. And like that was his like fetish. Fucking insane, right? Wow. These guys are rich and disgustingly evil.
So,
I know, right? It's
wow.
mind-blowing.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard a lot of
mind-blowing.
stories over the years, but yeah, that one's fucking.
Let's just say I ended up scamming that guy.
You
Yeah.
fucking good for you,
Yeah.
man. So, what's the lesson out of perverts online?
Oh my God, I don't even know. Like,
Don't fucking do it, guys.
I don't
go-
get it. I don't get it. Like there's innocent shit like the foot shit.
Yeah.
There's foot stuff, and then there's all the way from earwax, fetish to girls wanting to choke you to death, and like literally guys wanting to die by the hands of a girl. And I feel like that's when it gets really dark.
Wow. What's your weirdest fetish, Travis? Do you have like do you like putting a lamp in your ass when you're watching
I think it's-
Happy Days or something? I don't know what.
My fetish is like washer machines that just
Happy
trap
days.
people for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, just like it's like a scary movie. It's like, oh no, will this washing machine trap my stepsister? Oh, help, stepbro! I can't get out of my washer machine.
Hang on, mommy's coming over.
I think that's like a helplessness fetish.
Oh, when they get stuck underneath a table or something, and the guy comes in and lifts up the.
It's honestly, I'm just joking, but like it's a
yeah.
We heard you.
Listen, it's
like OJ was just allegedly joking.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Yeah, no, that's bizarre, but it's funny the little kinks that people like. So you like it's similar to kind of.
It's just another take on some sort of domination fantasy of different types and but.
Yeah, we're all fucking weird.
Yeah, everyone's fucked up. But when you cross the line of like hurting another person and then there's non-consensuality in it, that's when it gets weird.
Yeah, even if it is fake.
Yeah,
it's still weird.
The weirdest shit I like is like voyeur shit. That's the weirdest shit, and like not real. Like they don't want to be seen voyeur shit.
Just like peeking through the window or something like that.
Well, I did some weird content where I like pretended like I bought like some invisible paint. And then I painted myself in invisible paint, and I go in and I look at the girl while she's in the shower and shit like that. Like, this stupid shit. And all this shit sells.
See, I've had that fucking fantasy before of wearing a cloak of invisibility and just going around to fucking people's houses and jacking off while I watch them in the shower.
And then robbing them right after you nut. You got post-nut syndrome, and you realize money's more important.
Post nut syndrome. Fuck this! I'm taking the rings.
Yeah, that'd be me, dude.
That's funny. Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that post nut syndrome. That's so good. It's like as you're nutting after watching porn, you get angry.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's like, damn. What
the fuck did I do that for? Wasted it. I've been building it up for 2 weeks, and I just wasted it on that fucking dirty thing. I get it. That's so funny. One thing I got to start learning to do, man, I'm learning all about this podcast business, is people say to me, what's your podcast about? I don't specifically have a genre or genre. I'm not sure how the way you say it, but how is it, genre? Genre. I'm Australian, forgive me. I like having interesting conversations with people that, for one, make me laugh, for two, make me cry, for two, make me feel something on the inside. I don't know if that's the mushrooms or if I'm sure you're part of it. But my podcast is about conversation. That's what it's about. And one thing I need to learn to do is to make these podcasts 2 hours, because an hour is just not enough. So I'm hoping that maybe we can do this again, like real soon, and maybe we could bring your lovely wife in here and we could do a 2 hour sit down and chat.
Oh yeah, man. She's the total opposite of me. Like, I'm the flamboyant, like to play around and shit. She's the sturdy, just straight up. She is the strongest person I know. Yeah, hands down. Yeah, well, you would love her. She's the mob wife for sure.
I think that anyone that's married to you, Trap, I probably would like, because I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I've seen you from afar, and I'm glad that we got to connect. The way that I normally like to wrap things up is I like to get my guests maybe to give a message of encouragement, whether it be a word, a sentence, a song, whether it's something to give someone some encouragement. So what's your message for people, Trap?
That's an interesting question, because I feel like literally recently my message has changed. So I would say to other people, let your message change and let it evolve, because your message, some days you can wake up and realize, like, it needs a little tweak. I need to do something a little bit better. So stay evolving and stay changing. And my message to anybody out there who's trying to just be a man and be a better person is, just stay evolving and don't stick to one thing. Because I thought I wanted something for the longest time, and now I see it literally took one weekend for me to realize I not only wanted something, but I needed something completely different.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, brother.
We're going to do this again for sure. For sure.
Let's do it, man.
Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. This is so much fun. I fucking love doing this, and I love your support, and I want you to continue supporting me, because without you, this doesn't go anywhere, and I need you to enjoy it as much as I do enjoy it. Thank you very much to my engineer, Travis.
No problem.
He was one of my first engineer, actually the first engineer I ever had when I first started doing podcasting.
You've come so far.
And he had long hair and was wearing a mask because it was during COVID, I believe, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
just as attractive right now.
way more attractive with the short hair.
Yeah.
Thanks for chiming in today. Guys, thank you very much for listening to the show and watching. Once again, make sure you share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Listen to me on Spotify, watch it on YouTube. This is Marcus Deegan for the Marcus Deegan Show with Trap Daddy Gambino. We're out! The Marcus Deegan Show!